Hey, I don't know. Um, One of the things that possibly should be on our Christmas list, because there's a lot to do, there's a lot to get, I suppose. But one of the
Yeah.
surprising things that we should put on our Christmas list is less stuff. I know that seems counterintuitive, but well, unlike the song in the Madame Blueberry and Veggie Tales, apparently what we need isn't lots more stuff. It's probably less stuff. Am I right?
Oh, absolutely. And I love the VeggieTales reference there.
Yep.
Deep cut.
Oh yeah.
Um, oh my gosh, huge fans of VeggieTales in our family. In fact, as a side note, my daughter's first word was from VeggieTales. It was
What?
say boo. So if anyone's ever heard this, I'll say boo,
Yeah.
which is some kind of water buffalo,
It
I
is.
believe.
Yeah.
And
Every
there's a whole song that just repeats the word over and over, and her first word was say boo. I don't know if she's the only person in the world
that could be
who
amazing.
started with a some kind of water buffalo as their first word, but
Yeah.
I'm definitely a genius. Um,
Everybody's got a
yes.
water buffalo, and I just want to Veggie Tales back to you. Last Friday was the Rhema Christmas do, and I rocked
Yes.
up wearing a Larry Boy T-shirt. That's
Oh,
that's how I
perfect.
roll. Yeah, it was
We are
good.
vibing. We are vibing. I met them in person once. Uh,
On to the actual thing
yeah, let's
though.
talk about the real thing.
Madame Blueberry and less stuff. I mean, it's a good
Yeah.
aspirational goal, Julia, but is that even possible at Christmas?
Well, one of my, I have all my Fs that I help with my whānau and my faith and my fullness, and throwing stuff away
Oh yeah,
is actually one of the most, you see what I did there,
yeah,
is a very, very effective tool for dealing with mental health,
yeah.
particularly when it comes to anxiety. And yes, difficult, but very, very rewarding. And
Hmm.
so just wanted to geek out for a minute and give you a little bit of a science behind it. One of the challenges with clutter and too much stuff, and I am preaching to myself here as much as you, is that because our brains only give us new information, they tend to not notice as things accumulate.
Yeah,
So we can end up with a situation where we have all this stuff, but we stop seeing it. And if you've ever had a situation where someone's taken a photo, perhaps, or you've taken a photo in the house,
hmm,
and when you look at the photo, you're like, oh my gosh, there's so much. Where's all that stuff come from in the background? And you didn't notice it.
yeah.
So there's two sides to this. One is that the brain won't notice it, but the other side is that the subconscious brain does.
Wow.
So what's happening is you're constantly getting messages that that area is full of stuff. There's bombardment of information, but you're also kind of ignoring it at the same time.
Yep.
And so what it is it very challenging but very rewarding. When we do declutter, when we do get rid of stuff, what we're doing is we're asking our brain to deal with less and less information. And when we're constantly talking about information overload and overstimulus and finding ways that we can calm down, what better way than by actually quite physically cleaning out our environment and kind of getting rid of some things. And I like to turn this on its head by actually saying not so much what can I get rid of, but what can I gift to someone
Yeah.
else? So I don't. There will be people who struggle with getting rid of things that are, rubbish and that sort of stuff, and that needs some really big support.
Yeah.
But I think most people don't have that sort of problem. Most of us hold on to things because we think one day I might use that. Have you got any stuff in your world that you
Well,
think one day you might use?
we got a bit of that, but honestly, Julie, I think we're part of the answer on this one.
Yeah.
Particularly as we head towards Christmas. You know, we're straight out of the back of spring clean out for some people, and there's a Facebook page in our local community called Trash or Treasure. Trash and
Love it.
Treasure page. And if people don't want stuff, they put it on the Facebook page. If anybody does need it, they turn up, pick it up, or it gets dropped off and all that type of stuff. We are helping so many families this week
Yes.
alone by their stuff turning up at our place. I'm not sure it's helping us,
Oh,
but in
right,
the last
right,
24 hours, we've had like reverse porch bandits. People
right.
people turning up at our house and leaving stuff and look, my wife's a lovely lady. She puts up with a lot, but I think
And good.
actually her heart for helping other people with their clutter is yeah, creating a bit of a
I-
problem. And
I'm with you now. I thought for a minute there you were going to be talking about how all of your things that you didn't need have now really blessed the neighborhood.
no,
But what I can see
other
is what
way
you're
around.
providing is that wonderful thing of space. So you're providing space for those people. Right. Okay. The great challenge is not to just continually put things in. But
Yes.
I guess to a degree, what we're saying is that you're going to get joy out of some new things, and that is fun.
Yeah.
But thinking about when we do give away, as long as it doesn't end up at your house, what we are doing is we are providing resources for other people. If we can gift stuff to an op shop, if we can gift stuff to a clothing organization or something that does good with that, what we're doing is we're actually saying, look, okay, I don't need to fill my world up with this, but somebody else can really benefit from it.
Yep.
And what it does is it just lowers down the amount of information that our brains have to process, organizing and planning. Now, one of the challenges with this is that people think organization, oh, I need to go out and buy a whole lot of organizational things. And so end up with more stuff.
Yeah.
I would say rather than buying things to do this process, use what you have.
Yep.
So empty out some containers, use the old containers, empty out some boxes or things and use the old ones, and just start to get a little bit of order. Maybe start with the things you see the most.
Mm-hmm.
What are those things in those areas that are screaming at you every time?
Yeah.
So if you lie down in bed and you look at your bedside table and every time you think, oh, I should clean that, do it.
It's a
Like
place
just
to start.
organize
Yeah.
one thing, 1 degree of change, just organize that one thing today. When you lie down, you'll look at it and you'll think, I can do that.
Yeah.
That dopamine hit for your brain will help you with the next small step. So don't do it all.
So my strategy of, okay, I've got to tidy up the garage. First step, let's go to the red shed and buy those big Sistema containers so that I can take everything in the garage and chuck them in containers and stack them in the corner. That's not really an effective strategy. I've got more stuff, not less, right? They're just, it's just stacked.
Long, yeah. I mean, if you have culled it and pulled it down and then put it in the containers, absolutely. But my challenge would be just don't do that thing where we all do overwhelm, particularly people who are a bit neurodiverse. We go, I'm going to do everything, and we get everything out. And then we go, oh, what do I do with all this stuff? So just start working your way in one area. Pick one shelf, pick one cabinet, pick one cupboard. And as you bring it out, thinking to yourself, do I really need, have I got double ups, if things expired? And I'd say just be ruthless.
Yeah.
Just be absolutely ruthless. And nobody has to do what I'm saying today. It's just a suggestion. But if you do, it will lower your sense of overwhelm, and it will lower your ability, your brains. It will give your brain space to actually breathe and think about more important things and how much stuff we've got.
Hey, I'm agreeing with the principles. We need less stuff, but one thing that you might need, because I'm, as you're saying this, I'm thinking, oh, that sounds like something that I've read somewhere. But then, of course, that would be in your book, Be Kind to Your Mind. Maybe that is a piece of stuff that people could use to help them have less stuff and generally have a better Christmas and a new year. Although, of course, the physical book is one thing, but lots of that resource available online on your socials. People can connect in with that, and then they won't have to find a bookshelf or a container to keep it in, right?
Absolutely. So ebooks available online. We can read online, but having a great bookshelf, I've culled the bookshelf and I've got the books that I genuinely find useful and go back to time and again, of which Be Kind to Your Mind is definitely one of them. But yeah, we would love to connect. Also doing a lot of blogging, doing a lot of writing, a lot of free resources on the social networks at the moment and into the new year, and taking bookings for next year. I've just had some incredible churches who've booked me in for weekends to come and do a community event and a Sunday, and talking to me about really positive, practical mental health things through a good lens. Also, New Wine coming up, end of January. I'm speaking at New Wine, can't wait. Rest and Recovery, why Jesus did a cup of tea and a lie down, and you should too.
That sounds fantastic. And hey, Julia, thank you so much for making time for us in your busy schedule. Kia ora, thanks for joining us.
Thanks.
Hey, thanks very much for joining us in the Rhema studio. Thanks very much for watching the interview. It's kind of nice to have an audience, actually. And if you did like what you watched, then do give us a like, do give us the thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more interviews like that one, or perhaps even better, subscribe and those interviews will come straight to you. Don't forget to turn on your notifications, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.